Hello, Namaskar, Vanakkam. My name is Sudhir and you're watching CBSE with Sudhir. My dear soldiers, a poem written by our former president, APJ Abdul Kalam. That's the unit 5, chapter number 2, My Dear Soldiers, which is a tribute by the former president of India, who was also, incidentally, the prime president of India is also the supreme commander of the armed forces. So this was also the supreme commander writing about the brave soldiers, the brave young men and women who guard our country. So that way, this particular poem is extremely inspirational, a poem that you should definitely study, read, understand, and appreciate. Okay, so these two activities that you need to do, we can look around and identify the people who contribute to your life in a very selfless manner, even at a risk to your life. It could be even the security guard of your building, right? Because he's also risking his life because he's providing security, and he is always the first barrier in case there is some kind of an element who tries to enter your building. It could be a thief, it could be a burglar, it could be any unwanted kind of element. So you could work in pairs. So let's get to the poem. It's a very short poem, so it shouldn't take much time. Oh, defenders of borders, you are great sons of my land. And this is a poem which I would, if there are any teachers listening to this, I would want you to kind of form groups of students and ask a few of them to recite this poem. You could have this as a contest. And when they are reciting this poem, you should look out for their body language, the throw of the voice, the modulation, the diction, the clarity of the speech. Those are the different factors you should look at. So please organize a contest in your class, in your school, and this poem can be an extremely important and apt poem for that kind of a contest. Okay, just this thought came to me, so I just thought I will tell you. Oh, defenders of borders, you are great sons of my land. Now, this particular poem, as I said, it highlights the bravery, the sacrifice, and the dedication of Indian soldiers who guard the nation and every kind of condition. It could be the Siachen Glacier, it could be the deserts of Rajasthan, it could be in the northeast, it could be as part of the Navy in the Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal. So in every condition, day and night, 24/7, in the skies, the Air Force, the Navy, in the sea, all of them, they guard the country. So it is a tribute to them, and it highlights their bravery, sacrifice, and dedication. So Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, as the President of India, he is basically reminding us to honor these soldiers, respect them, and also pray for their well-being while they are involved in guarding the borders of our country. They're giving their best years of their life to guard their country instead of spending time with their family like we are fortunate to do. The soldiers are far away from their families guarding the borders of our country. Okay, so all defenders of borders, you are great sons of my land. The President of India, the poet in this case, let's refer to him as the poet because it's a poet, right? It's a poem. So the poet is essentially addressing the soldiers directly. Oh, defenders of borders, right? And he's calling them the protectors of the country's borders. And he honors them by calling them great sons of my land. So that is an adjective which is using great sons of my land. So he's saying it's my nation, it's my country, and you are defending, you are protecting the borders of my country. And it shows the deep respect that the poet has for these soldiers. When we are all asleep, you still hold on to your deed. So while all of us, normal, ordinary people, sleep peacefully at night, you soldiers are awake, you are not sleeping, you are alert, and you are performing your duty of guarding the borders of our country. So this particular line, it's highlighting the sacrifice that they make, the sacrifice of sleep, and the fact that they are in constant vigilance. They're constantly vigilant, seeing what is happening so that no intruder can enter the country. Windy season or snowy days or scorching sun's sweltering rays. So the third sentence says that it does not matter how harsh the weather is. It could be the hot summer or the cold winter. It could be the strong winds, the cold snow, the burning heat, right? The windy season, the snowy days, or the scorching heat means the peak of summer. You continue to do your duty without complaining, right? You are doing that, and it shows your sense of commitment. You are there guarding all the time awake, treading the lonely expanses as yogis. Now, this is an important line. He says that soldiers, you stay awake and you are also alert at all times. You walk across vast, empty spaces, which are lonely spaces, right? The lonely means vast, like in the desert or in the snow. You just keep walking because you're also involved in guarding all that space for the sake of India, right? So there the poet is comparing the soldiers to yogis. Now, yogis are like sadhus, right? They're sadhus who live in isolation, they live in mountain caves, etc. A life of discipline, a life of devotion. So soldiers also similarly are leading a life of dedication and devotion to the motherland, and extremely dedicated to the task of protecting the motherland. Okay, so these are two important lines. Climbing the heights or striding the valleys, defending the deserts or guarding the marshes. So now he's talking about different geographical locations, different topographical areas, right? So he's talking about first the mountains, different kind of terrain, right? Terrain spelling is this, Terrain. Okay, so different kind of terrains he's talking about. The first one, climbing the heights of the mountains or striding the valleys or defending the desert area or guarding the marshlands, of the country. So different kinds of areas, but the soldiers still do their duty very well. So this shows the readiness of the soldiers to face challenges in every corner of the country, irrespective of what the geographical landscape is like. Okay, surveillance in seas and by securing the air, prime of your youth given to the nation. So surveillance in seas and by securing the air is talking about, you're not just making the land secure, you're also, surveillance means keeping an eye, keeping a vigil, okay, keeping an eye or guarding the seas, the navy, what it does, or by securing the air, which is the air force, right? It's the air power. So you are there on sea in the form of navy, you're in the form of air force in the skies, and you're in the form of the army, like this is the army uniform on land. Prime of your youth given to the nation. So prime of your youth means you're dedicating the best years of your life, of your youth, to when you are most energetic, when you could do other work and probably earn much more, but you are doing this in service of the motherland, to serve the country instead of enjoying material and personal comforts. Wind chimes of my land vibrate your feet. So the poet is imagining, now this is an again a slightly complicated sentence. Wind chimes of my land vibrate your feet means the poet imagines that even the wind chimes, what is a wind chime? You must be having it at home, right? It is considered, positive energy. But with the wind, it keeps chiming, tang, 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 kind of different kind of chimes come, right? So the poet imagines that the wind chimes of the country echo the heroic deeds of the soldier, right? So it's a symbolic way of saying that nature itself honors the bravery. The wind chimes is because of the wind energy, the wind blowing, right? So even the wind energy, which is symbolic of nature, representative of nature, it is kind of honoring the bravery of the soldiers. So vibrate your feet, feet as in whatever you do, whatever achievement you do, it is kind of vibrating it, it is celebrating it even more and honoring it. We pray for you, brave men. May the Lord bless you all. So the poem ends with a prayer for the soldiers, their safety, their well-being. Okay. And Dr. Kalam expresses gratitude and seeks divine blessings from God. May the Lord bless you all. That all his blessings, the Lord's blessings, should be on each one of you. So basically, the poem is a tribute to the bravery, sacrifice, and dedication of the soldiers, as I said right at the beginning, right? So I hope you have understood. So yogis, I'll just go through some of the words. Expanses means wide open areas. Sweltering means extremely hot and uncomfortable. Then yogis means people, the sadhus who live a life of discipline and meditation, usually away from the human habitation. They go to mountains, caves, etc., and spend time in meditation. Then striding means walking with long steps. It conveys a sense of purpose. Okay. Then surveillance is careful watching, as I said, keeping a watch, keeping guard. Prime of youth means the best years, of youth of anyone's lives. Chimes, as I mentioned, the wind chimes, the hanging pieces of metal with wood with which it kind of strikes because of the air blowing, right? So there is an element of nature in the form of wind, and you're talking about that kind of vibrates and spreads that energy. So that's what here it is being spoken about. Okay. So feat is a great achievement. So some of the important words also I have mentioned, what I have written it separately. So with this, we come to the end of this particular poem. I'll see you in the last chapter of this particular unit. But I hope this one is clear. It's a simple poem. You just need to understand what is the poet trying to say in this particular poem, and the different lines, what do they convey, and the 2-3 important lines that I have spoken about. Please focus on them because those are the ones likely to come in your examination. Tata, bye bye. Thank you very much. Namaskar.